Hello, welcome back to tip number 3. I'm doing this in kind of a weird way in that it's all about taking pictures in the dark, but it's quite bright here, so I have to kind of set up the camera a bit weird. But try this definitely in very dark surroundings. It's called bright monitoring. It's one of the most useful features where the camera is basically yeah, creating an image out of taking a lot of time and building as best as it can sort of picture in the dark, which is amazing. It's difficult to see in the way that I'm going to show you, but try it yourself. It only works in manual focus, and for some reason it doesn't work when you zoom in, which I don't think make any sense. So we're definitely going to put that on the bug list. But here we go. So let's first go to a view where we can actually see what we are doing. So I put my camera in a totally silly mode, as you can see. Let me first put it back in something more reasonable. So let's go and change my aperture to something like 2.8. And now you can see I have a pretty normal exposure. I forced it on ISO 50 just to get it to dark. You could also put a ND filter on it or physically ghost it in the dark and see how this works. But what I will do is I've programmed, I will show you where it is in the menu. I programmed my down button and my C3 button for brightness monitoring, and you can use the down button because it doesn't work in zoom anyway. But so here we go. Basically what I will do is turn all the way up to, let's say 22, which is the first this goes. Now you can see it's dark, but look what happens if I press the bright monitoring button. You can see that slowly but surely. You can also see that there's a symbol on the screen. Let me turn it off, then you can see which one is popping up. You can see that you can now quite easily focus and zoom, of course, in the total dark. Now it would be great if this could be combined with zooming into the subject, because that would actually make sense, but you can't. So it only works if you're in not zoomed in. But in manual focus. But it's a very powerful feature, and then of course you can take the picture. Now in this case the picture will be totally dark, which makes sense because we set it up this way. But normally if you would do a long exposure, this is actually a very nice way to get a preview of what you're going to get, or at least not what you're going to get would be the wrong way of saying it, but at least that you can sharpen, get your picture sharp. Just try it yourself. Let me show you where it's in the menu. Let me first put this into a somewhat reasonable setting again. Also put my ISO before I forget back in auto. Still a kind of a weird setup. Okay, so here we go. In the menu, custom keys, let me go to this one, custom keys. I've put custom keys I've explained before in my my menu. I think that's a good place to put it. And you can see that there's I put it now both on custom button 3, which I normally have silent shooting. So yeah, I will put that probably back before I forget. So there it is, because it didn't work the way I expected anyway. But you can see that on my down button, I have this bright monitoring. That's actually, I think, a very useful place for it. Now, if they fix the bug that you can do it while you are zooming in, that might mean that I have to program it on a different button. But for now, it works fine. Of course, now that we have a normal exposure, then we go back to the older mode. it actually doesn't do too much, right? Because if I now press it, you can see it hardly does anything because, well, it's already very bright and yeah, the function is not needed. So please try it yourself because there are some other modes which are similar, but they're actually not as handy as this one. So, and it does only work in manual because if you go to, let's say, DMF even, and you press it, it will get you a warning. So it's a manual focus feature, but very handy if you're taking a picture in the almost dark and you want to do a long exposure. So yeah, that was number 3 in the new series. Did you notice? Bye bye, see you in the next one.